the title of this conference is the spiritual values and challenges of today's world. So, I mean, I was just sort of wondering, how to respond to the challenges of today's world. And in my view, the basic challenge of today's world is crisis of trust. And what I mean by crisis of trust, I'll just explain within a few minutes. For example, the trust in family relationship, irrespective of geographical boundaries, the trust in our own colleagues. I mean, since I have worked for 40 years, over the years, I mean, things were not as they are today. And we had a wonderful, cordial relationship. And so the trust among our own colleagues, education system, the trust in medical system, the trust in society, where the whole society is involved, the trust in democratic values, dilemmas of democracies, I mean, the biggest democracies of the world, like America and India, they are also having problems of democracy, leading to death of democracies to the extent that the voices are not allowed. Trust in politicians. I mean, we vote with the trust in the politicians, thinking that they will do something much better for the society, for the country. Policies and everyday political violence. I mean, Bengal is having this violence almost every day. Just in the morning, I heard that point blank murder happened in a nearby village. Financial market crash, technological development like PTP, artificial intelligence, robots, and many more, such as humanity as a whole, due to the so-called development and attempt to make life better. So on the one hand, we have this claim that we are having development in the countries, and the development, of course, there's no limit of development. And on the other hand, we're also thinking of having a better and better life of the people. But on the name of these two claims, what is happening in the whole world is really worrisome, and we are losing trust at every stage. Now, these various kinds of lack of trust determine the life of each and every individual in the world and the life of every living being on the planet. So it's not only a lack of trust for human beings, but also even the animals, who expect love and care from their owners, even they are losing trust in their own relationship. So it was Annette Bayer, in fact, in her article, Trust and Antitrust in 1986, first draw the attention of philosophers towards the concept of trust. And the book, which is recently published, not very recent, but in 2017, The Philosophy of Trust, edited by Paul Faulkner and Thomas Simpson, which is published from Oxford University Press, deals with various complex philosophical issues, including the paradox of trust, which is that trust becomes demanding, and it is also much in demand. So on the one hand, we want trust. On the other hand, trust is becoming more and more demanding. Why? Because, if you want trust, then we have to fulfill our responsibilities and moral obligations. Now, having said that, let me come to the second point. What is trust? The basic two conditions of trust are knowledge and belief, in my view. According to Annette, again, trust is reliance on another person's goodwill towards oneself. So this is how Annette defines trust. Whom should I trust, and what way and why are some of the important questions in this context. It has predictive element, account, in the sense that if I trust someone, means that I will get help from her when I'm in need. If I trust the medical system, means that I'll get the medical help when I am in need. If I trust the technology, it will work when I need to work on the laptop, for example. If I trust and spend so much money to buy a car, means that it would be comfortable and would give me good mileage. If I vote a Democrat, I trust he would act and implement and value the democratic values, etc. But before all kind of trust, I would need to get all relevant information and knowledge about these matters. I need to be well informed. And we all know that science provides us the required knowledge about the object of trust. But just the knowledge and information is never enough to live a peaceful and full life. And it points out that the relations often involve inequality of power. Now, this notion of inequality of power is very important from the trust point of view, because even in the relations of mother and the child, husband and the wife, these are actually not like contracts. If it's trust, normally we think that it's a legal concept and it is a kind of contract. But then if you look at the philosophically, it's not simply like a legal contract. The normative account of trust, the expectations of goodwill, benevolence, responsibility, and hope for a better life and choosing a conscious future is something where all science fails us, as they have limitations. So when it comes to the issues of normative account, science fails us. Miracles do happen. Impossible becomes possible. And also at times, the hope gets actualized. Now, this is the kind of phenomena which I would like to focus on. Many philosophers define trust as a kind of reliance on other people based on a certain attitude. But what is the attitude that underpins trust? Philosophers have answered that question many ways. For example, some say it is a simple belief that the other person will do the right thing for the right reason. Hobbes, for example, tells us if you want to be trusted by your subjects, show them or give them the feeling that you are protecting their lives. If you want to be trusted by your subjects, take care of their bodily needs, for example, make sure that they can nourish themselves and provide for them in case they cannot do it on their own. And Hobbes promoted that monarchy as the best form of government and the only one that can guarantee peace. In some of his works, he also says that there must be a supreme sovereign power of some kind in society, without stating definitely which sort of sovereign power is the best. So he thinks that monarchy is perhaps the sovereign power, and that is the best. But basic 4 types of trust are living trust, testamentary trust, which we were talking about contracts, for example, revocable trust, and irrevocable trust. I will not go into the details here, but will confine myself basically with the first type, which is living with trust. Now, the third point which I would like to discuss very briefly is living with trust and spirituality. In our childhood, we all made small boats and left it into the water to float and enjoyed its flow towards its destination. The human life is also like a boat that has its destination, but each individual has the power to change his or her destination. The question is how? Is the destination fixed by some other outer force? Death is no doubt the destination in some sense, but before death, the life and fulfillment is also something that every individual aspires for. And the life at every moment may become worth living for myself and also for others by having trust in oneself and in others. It could also be full of suffering, waiting to die any moment due to bitter relationship. Due to the various challenges one faces today, one lives the life of uncertainty, mistrust, and fear. Young people do not have any confidence in themselves. Anything can happen anytime. The smooth life may turn into the crisis of survival due to one incident within a moment. Just one heart attack or a cerebral attack can make an individual vegetable and can lead to the end of life. But in such a situation, a person may have a strong hope and belief that he will be all right with the help of medicines, doctors, and others. Just the hope and mental strength is not enough. The old ways are not enough. Some new ways coming from various traditions, such as methods of meditations that we find in various traditions, are very helpful. And the power of the self-belief that I am perfectly well and may help in the brain to get the normal functions. Through such thought, power, and goodwill, everything becomes possible. All problems can be solved through such thought process and positive belief. The problems of brain due to stress and genetically deformation can be overcome by just transcending with the power of the self. As each cell in the brain gets a single command from the mind that I will be fine again, it makes the symphony as a sound and belief system. Thus, we need to reprogram our brain and not to accept the adversaries of life that we face in our life today, and replace with a positive power of belief that we can create our own future. The weak mental power can be changed into a magical power. A clinically dead 21-year-old boy after operation of heart can be revived, became conscious. But due to lack of hope, love, purpose, close family relationship, etc., the heart attack he had at the age of 21. But all happiness, gratitude, love, joy, personal fulfillment, life of joy and happiness can come back, and we can make such conscious choices. Therefore, in my view, the mental power is the most powerful source of human life. Through such mental and spiritual power of belief and trust, one can create conscious future. That trust that whenever some adverse incident occur, it is always for some betterment. One needs to take a decision leading to a vision, to some action that would lead to some future creation. Thank you.